Choosing the right tree for success is really critical. And there are a lot of different reasons for planting trees, not just for commercial benefit. There are three main headings when you're considering farm forestry or choosing species for farm forestry. The first one is what you want those trees to do. Now, you could be choosing them simply to beautify your place. You could be choosing them for stock protection, windbreaks along fence lines. You could be looking at re-establishing some sort of environmental planting on your property, or you could be looking to make some sort of economic benefit out of those, and there's a range of different ones under that. The second thing is your location, what the climate's like, most in particular rainfall. Rainfall is probably the biggest limiting factor on any sort of species you select. Following that, there's soils and wind and topography, those sorts of things, and frost is another big one. If you're looking at bulk commodities in South Australia, you're really looking at either radiata pine or Tasmanian blue gum, and you need to be near some sort of mill that can take those. Sometimes it's easier just to grow trees on your property for your own benefit, for your own fence posts or your own carbon offsets or local firewood markets. You can grow specialty timbers, but again, you need a market for those. You need to establish somebody who will take those timbers once they're cut. The last one is which species. So all of those other two things really determine which species, and then you've got to work out, is that one going to do what I need on this property? Species-wise, there are a whole range of different trees that can suit all sorts of conditions and purposes, but for bulk commodities at this stage, really radiata pine and Tasmanian blue gum, you may want to establish them for environmental purposes, which means you would probably choose local species and probably some understory as well. Yeah, if you're living in a frost-prone environment, then you've got to think about things like what trees you would grow that would survive that frost, or if you're choosing a tree that is frost sensitive, tree guarding may be a really important factor, because something like a sugar gum will grow almost everywhere if you protect it from frost. Another really good tree that's quite versatile in the landscape, if you're not looking at local trees, is the flat-top yate. Now, that isn't frost sensitive, it's really quite robust. It won't grow quite as big as sugar gum. The sugar gum is quite a large forest tree. It is really tough. You can grow it in environments where it gets frosted, and it will also tolerate a bit of salt. You may decide you want a windbreak, where then you're looking at species, not just tall species, but some shorter ones too, so that when the big ones get up, there's still something underneath to catch that wind and provide the stock with shelter. And like anything, there's a cost involved. If you're planting trees, there's not just the cost of the trees, there's also cost of fencing, other sorts of protection like tree guards, perhaps watering if you're in an area that's very dry. As you lose rainfall, you lose species of trees that are going to be productive in your area. When you get out into sort of 250, 300 mil rainfall, you're really starting to look at mallees or that kind of thing, unless you're prepared to water a little bit. There are a lot of good mallee trees out there too. We've got a range of them that we've promoted. And as you come through the rainfall zones, you get into higher rainfall zones, you can choose a whole range of different trees. There is a lot more scope for big trees. One really important thing when you're looking at selecting species is have a look around at what other people have planted in your area. or even contact the Farm Forestry Landcare Network. There's a lot of other people out there who've planted trees successfully, are growing trees really well, and can help you out so that you don't have the same disasters or failings that they've had. There's a lot of information out there, a lot of people willing to help, and choosing the right tree for success is really critical.